Jim Evers here with the how to be the expert in your niche #1 tip. So let me tell you a quick story. When I was in real estate way back in the 90s, before the turn of the century, I came into the real estate business. I had no contacts. I was young. I had nothing. But what I did have was a book that I wrote on how to sell your house yourself. And I used that book as a way to get in the door with for sale by owners, where I would literally just call them up and say, hey, if I had a buyer for your house, would you pay me a commission? They'd say, do you have a buyer? I said, I don't know. I haven't seen your house yet. So I would get an appointment to go over to see the house. When I walked up to the house, I would give them a copy of my book. And then I would go take a look at the house, develop a relationship with them. Some of the people listed their house with me. Other people bought a new house through me. So I had my little system down, had my, I didn't know it at the time, but I had an in-person book funnel. I really did, because the book went in the top and out the bottom came money. So figured out a way to actually, before I went to see the people, I would send them a copy of my book. Now, at this point, my book was not something cool like what you can do with Amazon and print on demand and stuff like that. I went down to Kinko's. Who remembers Kinko's? Huh? I went down to Kinko's and I had it comb bound. And so that's what you did back in the 90s. There was no perfect binding for your book. And so I one day rolled up to a house, and it didn't look like this. It looked like, you know, your fifth grade book report, but that's all you could do. So bottom line, walk up to a house, knock on the door. Lady says to me, hello. I said, hey, did you get the book? She says, it's not a real book. I said, well, easy, lady. What's the problem? What do you mean it's not a real book? I don't have a publisher. And what she said to me is something that stuck with me to this day. She said, it's not on Amazon. I looked for your book on Amazon and it's not there, so it's not a real book. At the time, you couldn't get your book on Amazon without having a real publisher, so it was kind of a bind. And so one of the things that we teach inside of my program at 7-Day eBook is exactly, not only do we teach you 10 different ways to create your own real book, but we also show you step by step how to get it up on Amazon. But let me give you a tip that this will help you, especially if you are super worried about, well, if I create a book super fast, is it actually a real book? And so I want to give you a couple things to think about. If you want to sell a book, in other words, if you're like, okay, I want to write a book and sell it. I want to end up in libraries and I want to sell a book. Then you have to write that book the traditional way, which basically means 18 hours a day at your keyboard, slaving away, typing away, and driving yourself absolutely nuts. Because the problem is that you're selling a book. Now, the way I do it, and the way that tens of thousands of my students have done it, is that they don't sell books. We sell solutions. You sell a result. And when you sell a result, nobody's worried about being a grammar teacher when it comes to your book. People aren't evaluating your book by how it's formatted and all this other stuff. They're evaluating your book based on the solutions and the result. So if you want to be known as an author, I can show you exactly how to do that. It's very easy to do that. There's 10 different ways to create the content. If you want to be on Amazon, it's easy. You can get that done in an afternoon. If you want to create a book to put in the top of your funnel, so that you can drive people through your value ladder. You can absolutely do that when you're selling a solution, you're selling a result. If you want to create amazing bonuses to go with your existing material. You can absolutely do this. It works amazing because we're selling solutions, we're selling results. We are not selling books. That is the biggest thing you need to understand. So, if you want to win grammar awards, then creating your book using the 7-day ebook method is not for you. It's not. It's not going to do it because the difference between this and this comes down to the E word, editing. How long do you want to spend in the editing process? In order to be considered a real author, in order to get on Amazon, in order to have a cool top of the funnel book to create bonuses and to be the expert, you need to have well organized information that comes out. In fact, there's 3 things you got to have, all right? And then we'll wrap this up. There's 3 things you got to have. Number 1, you got to have great information that comes out of your head one way or another that solves a problem. Number 2, you need to get it formatted and for sale on Amazon. Okay? And number 3, you need to use it as a tool to build your business. And the biggest thing is that you're selling that result. You're selling the payoff. If you do that, nobody cares about grammar awards. So, here's what I'd like to tell you. If you're a blogger, if you're a vlogger, if you're a coach, if you're a professional, if you are a speaker, if you are someone who would like to be able to hold up a book and say, hey, here's my book, this is what I teach, these are my thoughts, these are my frameworks, then head on over to 7dayebook.com. I will show you not 1, not 2, not 3, but 10 different ways that you can have your book done, published, and up on Amazon by this time next week. And the cool thing is I've actually done it in less than 36 hours, from idea to published for sale on Amazon in 36 hours. It's not about chaining yourself to the keyboard. It's about understanding strategy and tools in order to get it done quickly. So if you want to be the expert, especially be the number 1 expert in your niche, you need a book. And I can show you exactly how to do it. I'm Jim Edwards. Have a great day.